All right, welcome back. Time to bring in our panel. With us here today, former state party chair for the Indiana Democrats, Robin Winston, 2016 vice chair for the Indiana Trump campaign, Tony Samuel, along with former communications director for the Indiana Democrats, Jennifer Wagner-Chartier, and former GOP lawmaker Mike Murphy. Mike, I'll start with you here as we talk about the vice president's new book and the news-making interviews that he's done here this past week, speaking very frankly about former President Trump's actions on January 6th. And this comes amidst all this news Friday that a special counsel now has been named to handle the Trump investigations. What do you make of the vice president's remarks about everything that's happening?
I think he's certainly moving away from Trump. I mean, he's got Trump on one end, he has DeSantis on the other end, and who else knows, maybe Pompeo and others. So he's got to mark out his own territory, while at the same time he defends the administration's policies. And I think he's doing a pretty good job so far. I'm about 300 pages through the book. I should be done by Tuesday.
It's about 500-page book,
473
right?
pages.
473, okay.
But the fascinating thing is to watch his evolution from being a very negative campaigner, you know, in the 88 and 90 races, to being this, you know, happy Christian warrior office holder.
Jennifer, your perspective here from the other side, how do you view Vice President Pence's statements here this week, nearly 2 years after the events of January 6th?
Evolution. What an interesting word to use. It's like Mike Pence continues to evolve and evolve and evolve. And this next iteration, I think, is going to be really difficult for him to pull off because, you know, he is trying to play that between DeSantis and Trump, but you can't, I mean, he was there. He was the vice president. He was Trump's guy. And he, you know, managed to machine his way into that position. It's going to be really, really difficult to unthread that needle. And I think if he does become a serious contender, you know, the long knives are out and they're going to cut him to pieces.
So, Tony, how do you think this fits into the larger conversation now about 2024? Former President Trump announcing his new campaign this past week. It says he's indeed running for president. And then Friday comes the news there's a special counsel investigating him now, and still some question amongst Republicans as to whether he'll really be able to bring that same energy to GOP voters that he brought back in 2016, particularly now with so many other Republicans like DeSantis or really like Pence here this past week, speaking more frankly about the former president and why they think he's not the answer for the GOP now.
I think we're back to square one. If you remember back in 2015, 2016, when President Trump was first running, you had that establishment Republican organization, or you know, everyone as part of the establishment was against him.
You think he's going to try and run it as an underdog again?
Well, I think so, and the American public loves an underdog. The American public that's out there that identifies with his America First policies, you know, keeping America strong, building our military, fixing the economy, doing all those things that he did before and said he was going to during that campaign, and then did it in office. Those same folks are going to gravitate back to him. They already are. They haven't left him, but the establishment has left him again, and the Democrats and most of the media will be against him. And so again, we're almost back to square one.
What about this special counsel, though, the potential for criminal charges even?
Yeah, well, it's just more of the same harassment. You had $50 million or more spent on the Mueller investigation, Comey investigation, the impeachment 1, impeachment 2, which the second one was on January 6th. So you already had that litigated in the political arena. Now you're going to spend more taxpayer money.
A lot of this now is about the documents.
The documents, you could have handled that internally, you know, between the government and the Trump campaign.
Yeah, we'll see how this shakes out. Now, Robin, your response to that, and where does this leave your party heading into 2024 now? Do you think the midterm results bring more certainty for President Biden running again in the next election?
First off, I don't think there are a lot of DeSantis flags flying around Indiana. I haven't seen any in Bedford or Lydic or the places that I've been around the state, but there are Trump flags. So don't underestimate this guy being their nominee. Joe Biden, I believe, will be our nominee. We had one heck of a night on November 8th. All the pundits put us down, but guess what happened? We won control of the Senate. We did better than people thought, and we won some key governor's races.
Mike, let's talk about some other Hoosiers who are in the mix for various other positions in Washington. Congressman Jim Banks losing out on that race for House Whip. So what does he do next? Will he run for Senate now, perhaps, if Mike Braun runs for governor?
I don't know, frankly. I'm not sure he's wealthy enough to win a statewide race because you have people like Troy Hollingsworth and Eric Doden. Some of them going to run for governor, and some will run for the Senate. But I applaud Jim Banks for running for that whip spot. David McIntosh lost running for Speaker at least twice, right after Newt Gingrich left. And then Mike Pence himself ran for a leadership spot and lost. So losing is not
eventually
a
worked up the
negative. In
ranks,
fact,
yeah.
if you've never lost an election, you've probably not taken enough risk.
Meantime, Braun this week voted against Mitch McConnell for Senate leadership. He also voted against the vote to advance the Defense of Marriage Act. Jennifer, I want to get your thoughts on that, and also your thoughts this week on the changing guard in Democratic leadership in the House, with Speaker Pelosi announcing that she's stepping back as we move into the new year. A lot of moving pieces right now in Congress.
Yeah, and on that Defense of Marriage Act piece, I think it's worthy to lift up Todd Young for what he did this past week in making sure that that vote could happen. I think that's a remarkably brave thing to do. I was, just reading that the Indiana Family Alliance or Family Institute was condemning him, and I'm like, anytime they're condemning a Republican, it's probably a Republican I can, be a little bit more in favor of. I thought, the contrast between Donald Trump's announcement and Nancy Pelosi's announcement couldn't have been more fitting this past week. Nancy Pelosi's like, hey, you know what? I've been here for a while. I'm going to pass the baton. I'm going to let a new generation lead. And Donald Trump's like, hey, I'm still here. Do you still want me? And everyone's like, no, we don't.
Of course, her announcement coming now as Republicans do indeed retake the House. The new Republican majority, we'll see what that brings in terms of potentially other investigations they may want to bring. Meantime, Tony, at the State House, quickly here, lawmakers will be back Tuesday for organization. It's a budget writing year. There'll be a lot of questions about what to do with the surplus, what kind of legislation to bring. What do you think we're going to see here at the State House in the weeks and months to come?
Well, I think we will see health care be front and center, trying to get hospital costs down, all kinds of costs down, cost of medication down. You'll see legislation that will bring out the real issue with pharmacy benefit managers that are middlemen between manufacturers and consumers, and that's got to be addressed. Okay. You'll also see maybe some of the auditing and accounting that needs to happen with all these trillions of dollars of federal money coming
Robin,
to the
quickly,
state.
what do you think we'll see at the State House in the midst of a lot of people jockeying for a run for governor, too, potentially?
Well, I think that we'll see people talking about education. You got a $6 billion surplus. If you gave $1 billion to education and made it a workforce initiative, a career initiative, that would make a small dent in a $6 billion budget.
Okay. Well, we got to leave it there. We're going to have much more to come with our panel at the end of the program for winners and losers, but also still ahead, Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett running for a third and final term, as he put it. We'll ask him and his opponent about that straight ahead.